Hello everyone and welcome back to another Chainsaw Man chapter coverage video. Now today we have Chainsaw Man chapter 174 titled Aging. And what we have in this chapter, in my opinion, this is one of the best chapters of Chainsaw Man ever. Because we have every single question that we needed answered in this chapter. When I say this is one of the most informative and one of the biggest chapters for the future of the series, perhaps leading to being very, very close to the end of this series, I mean it. This is definitely the case. We are possibly in the end game, but what we definitely know is that we have many, many questions answered, including what public safety's goals are with Chainsaw Man, you know, what the erasure of concepts from devils can do to things, and what public safety plan to use that concept to then apply to the real world, and what this new devil is that we all were theorising about for the last week. And many people in my comment section were right, as well as many of them being wrong. So get your comments down below telling me, gloating if you were right about this devil. I'm sure you can tell by the title. But before we get into the chapter's details, I'm going to ask if you could leave a like on the video and subscribe to the channel if you would like to do so. It would genuinely mean a lot to me. Thank you so much. And let's get right on with the chapter, starting with these first two pages, where we see essentially the Prime Minister of Japan, as well as the rest of the higher-ups, the ministers of the country, debating what is going on, why the erasure of ears had worked the way that it did. So they are figuring out that during the 3 minutes and 50 seconds-ish that the ears were erased from existence, the concept of ears were completely erased, they had no memories of it, right? And so in these transcripts, they discussed having never heard the word ear before. Yet, because ears are now restored, they have no memories of that actual conversation happening itself. And so, what this makes me believe is that when concepts are erased, as soon as concepts are brought, when they're regurgitated by Pochita, the memories of the moments where you didn't know ears existed are then removed. So, when the devil is eaten by Pochita, when the devil is erased from existence, the memories of having ears are erased, right? But then when the devils are regurgitated, the memories of not having ears are erased. It's an unbelievable concept. It's really, really interesting. And I just wonder how this is going to work in terms of the devils that are going to be consumed by Pochita in the next few chapters, and how that could work for the end of the story. We have no answers on that, but I think the introduction of this, this, like the Prime Minister says, this curious little rule there with the memories, I think it is really, really fascinating. This guy, the Minister of Internal Affairs and Communications, says, I checked with a subordinate. All 27 archivists in the Devil Extermination and Disaster Response Divisions are substantiating the erasure and restoration of ears. So, yeah, essentially just finding out that that is exactly what happens. That the concept of ears were erased and they have now been restored. But they don't remember them being erased now that they have their ears back. And what does Public Safety think it can accomplish with this power? To this power, he is referring to Pochita and the Chainsaw Man erasure ability. And who steps in? My least favourite Public Safety member, an absolute bitch if I'm being honest. Her name obviously being Fumi, or Fumiko Mifune. She tells us some incredibly important information, that the goal of Public Safety using Pochita's power is human evolution. Harmful substances, nations, and more. With Chainsaw Man's power, we can remove their very concept, making civilization even more, well, you know the rest. Essentially, what they want to do, well, in terms of the way that she speaks anyway, is control the human race, which is insane, by the way. But it does make sense in terms of, the first thing that she mentions, harmful substances. That is huge, and that could play a huge role in terms of the better of the world. However, this guy says, can you be more concrete? And she expands. She says, Public Safety currently has an amicable relationship with the aging devil. So there's your confirmation, because you see the aging devil in the next panel. That new devil that we were theorising on was the aging devil. Now, fair play to the few people in my comments that said that this was the aging devil. A few people did say that. I wish I could go and fetch your names. Maybe I'll put it into the edit, or maybe I won't. I don't know. But well done regardless. It's fantastic that you were able to guess. So many people said the pain devil, but no, it's the aging devil. Fumi says that it's a devil with the name of a primal fear, but communication has gone smoothly and we've received a very favourable offer from it. The aging devil has no attachment to life. Depending on the terms of the contract, it's willing to be eaten and erased by Chainsaw Man. Now, what does that mean? That means that the concept of aging could be erased, and if you think about that, that of course could lead to eternal life for all human beings. However, it would work in a very dodgy way, because of course if people can't age, then that maybe means that babies can't develop and grow inside their mother's stomach, and even if they can, then they would be stuck being an infant's age forever. There's many tangibles that come with that, but a very interesting concept, and I think it really does link into my personal favourite concept that I've been talking about a lot recently, and that the erasure and the eating of the death devil could mean death for every single human being, or being in general, on the earth, because if you have no sort of fear of death, then maybe life doesn't exist, because to live is to essentially to fear death. And so that's something I've been harping on about for a while, and the aging devil's existence and the kind of zero attachment to life, in my opinion, this feeds right into the theory that I've been talking about, and that this could actually end in a very bad way for humanity. But as we move on, we hear a lot more conversations about this exact concept. Yuki Tomoda, the chief cabinet, says, if we erase aging, what will change? Will mental and physical decline due to aging disappearing from all living beings? And then Fumi obviously says we won't know until after it's been erased, like we don't know about pretty much every single thing that hasn't been erased yet. When it gets erased, we'll find out, you know. But according to the research that they conducted during the 3 minutes and 50 seconds that the ears were erased for, in a world without ears, hearing did not disappear. Cell phones and radios still existed, and ear picks were sold as an arts and crafts product. So very interesting. It is a freaking mess, exactly like that what the minister says. It is absolutely wild. So ears themselves, the actual thing, didn't exist, but hearing still existed. So if we erase aging, does that mean that the concept of aging doesn't exist, but like you can still die? I have absolutely no idea, but that's the point. We're meant to have all these questions, and these are fantastic questions that I can't wait to get answered. So yeah, Fumi says that Chainsaw Man is indeed messy. However, public safety are keeping Chainsaw Man's chaos controlled enough to be able to prove his powers to you, the higher-ups of the country, the people who run this country. What are the terms of the aging devil's offer, says the chief cabinet, or no, sorry, the minister. And what happens here is insane in my opinion, and really does change the complete kind of look on Japan in this story. And that is that the offer that the aging devil has given is that in exchange for being eaten by Chainsaw Man without resisting, the aging devil wants us to kill 10,000 children with Japanese citizenship between infancy and 9 years old in front of mirrors. We don't know how long Chainsaw Man's state will persist or whether it's possible to confine him. We need your decision as quickly as, and before Fumi can even finish, they say fine, and they agree to the deal. Now Japan, this is rotten, however, you can understand, I guess, where they're coming from, because like they're essentially thinking we're going to swap 10,000 children for eternal life. However, killing 10,000 children is unforgivable any way you look at it, and I'm sure that everybody will agree with me when I say that. So it's rotten in my view anyway, and I'm really concerned about the way that that's going, because like Japan, man, this is not good morally at all. And the former Minister of Finance pulls up in his wheelchair, this really old man, and he says, my grandson in the private sector is gathering children orphaned by devil attacks. Reach out to them. If we need more Have your man international adoption agents assemble the rest. Give them the Japanese citizenship, and foreign-born children will work just as well. 10,000 lives is a small price to pay for the future of Japan. Again, I understand what they mean, but this could heavily, and I mean heavily, backfire. Like, this could turn into a situation where we have no life anymore, and they're willing to sacrifice 10,000 lives to potentially just end the world anyway. I mean, it is wild, but they're taking a huge gamble, and I can't really say much until we see more development on these issues in the future. But it seems like, well, obviously we see these guys, this guy, he can't do it, and then instantly he says, Takanashi, you have 4 children, is that right? You have children, 4 of them, isn't that right? And he essentially instantly coaxes this guy into going along with the plan because he doesn't want to lose his children. Essentially what the granddad is saying is, if you don't agree to this plan, we will kill your children. Which, again, is ridiculous. It's disgusting, it's manipulative. But what can you really say when they're, I suppose everything they're doing is for the future of the country? I guess. I don't know. I'm conflicted, to be honest. But it's not really for me to speak on. However, the big bombshell at the end of the chapter that, again, makes me believe even further that we are very, very close to the end of Chainsaw Man. Fumi says that, you know, basically the plans are being put in place by this granddad. Will provide the 10,000 children within 48 hours. And then the next panel, we start to crop off the lower end of people's faces. Both of them, they know they have cropped faces. And as we see the next 2 panels, the mouth devil has been erased. People can no longer talk, which is completely insane. I cannot believe what I am saying. The mouth devil's been erased. As you can see, everybody's walking around in public with no mouth at all. And the last panel shows that the octopus devil, the mouth devil, the snow devil, and the bitterness devil have been erased. Insane that Pochita has now eaten 4 different devils in this chapter alone. And what I mean by this pointing towards the end of the series being imminent is that many, many devils are being erased. Now, will they be regurgitated? Who knows? But this is very, very dangerous for the world because, as we can see, Pochita is uncontrollable. Public safety thinking that Pochita is controllable is hilarious. It's ridiculous, to be honest. There is no human, physical way that they can control Pochita. He is uncontrollable, and he will end this world if they are not careful. And I think that is possibly going to happen. Now, what I want to know straight away, I'm delighted that we've got another chapter next week, so we're not going bi-weekly like Fujimoto has for such a long time. We're getting 3 chapters back to back, thank God. What I want to know down in the comments is, do you think the Agent Devil contract is wrong? I want to know that. In terms of morally, on your moral compass as a person, would you agree with this if it was happening in your world? And if you were in the Chainsaw Man world, what would you think about this deal being made with the Prime Minister of Japan and all of that sort of stuff? I want to know if you were right about it being the Agent Devil. Don't lie. Tell me if you were wrong. I was wrong. I thought it was the Human Devil. I was obviously very much wrong about that. Do you think that the erasure of the Agent Devil would end the world? Do you think that the Agent Devil links into the Death Devil because it technically is also a primal fear? And yeah, just give me your overall thoughts on every single thing that we were taught in this chapter. Do you think that public safety are doing the right thing? Do you think that public safety are stupid to be trusting Pochita and essentially trying to control Pochita's power? And what do you think this series will end up looking like by the time we get to its conclusion? For me, this does one thing, and it confirms that Chainsaw Man Part 2 is going to be the final part of Chainsaw Man, and all of these things that have been linked in right now in this chapter, the questions that have been answered, they're all going to have a climax at the end of Part 2, and that is when Chainsaw Man will end. So in my opinion, we are very, very close to the end of this story, but maybe you disagree, so again, do let me know down in the comments down below. I'm going to leave a couple of Chainsaw Man videos on the screen, maybe the playlist, as well as my One Piece ranking all arcs from worst to best. it didn't do very well. So if you could check that out and help me out, I would appreciate that a ton. I'm also going to ask if you could leave a like and subscribe to the channel if you enjoyed this video, as well as wanting to look forward to more Chainsaw Man content from me in the future. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for watching, and goodbye.